What's that? What was that? Paul?
I'd like to call the Museum Committee to order, and I will ask if any members have a pecuniary interest. You can declare it now. We're further down the agenda. We have no delegations, but a couple of action items, starting with the policy fee schedule.
Yeah, so the policy fee schedule as distributed by Donna Van Wyck, there were just a couple of items that we needed to clean up within the fee schedule for the museum. So the recommendations to the changes, some wording and a couple of adjustments on pricing are in the report.
Thank you. We have a staff recommendation. I have a mover and a seconder. Mike, seconded by Robert. Any discussion at all? Questions? Seeing none. All in favor? Opposed, if any. That's carried. Thank you.
Okay.
The policy report.
So again, in regards to the continuation of review of policy, this is one of the policies that's coming up as part of the CMOG review and application for CMOG for 2016. So the first one that I'm bringing forward in this report is the physical plant policy. Again, the policy is attached and just some minor, it's just more changing on some of the wording of the policy for you. Okay.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
The staff recommendation. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Anne, and seconded by Milt. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you, that's carried.
Okay.
And we have several information items.
Yeah, so the first information item is a report coming out of the archives, so the Q3 report. We did launch back in April, you'll recall, the Past Perfect Online project, and it has been moving along quite well. At the time of the report, there were over 1,800 archival records that have been put online, and also the collections pieces were just at about 335. I think we're closer to almost 400, or will be by the end of the year. So this project is going to be a project that is ongoing, a great way for us to get the collection out there in a more accessible manner, also a great way for researchers to actually access information prior to coming in and getting more information. In regards to some of the projects that we've been working on in the archives, the rehousing project of the Krug collection is coming along. And there's been a number of dedicated volunteers that have been assisting with that project, so that's been quite great to see. And then there's also just a little update in terms of some of the main areas of donation, the municipal transfers, which we've been getting in, a number of researchers and inquiries. Q3 tends to be a busier time for us, especially with the influx of the seasonal residents and also the tourists. But we're basically, working on research requests and throughout the course of the year. So that's just a report in regards to the archives. The next report in front of you is in regards to the business and sponsorship report. So there are several asks. Now we're starting our asks for 2017 to get ahead of that for budget. So we have a number of asks into OPG at this point, a number of asks into Bruce Power. You will see actually Bruce Power has committed to all of those funds already, but again, at the time of the report, it was still an ask, and we're just waiting as well to hear back from Ontario Power Generation on the others, and we expect feedback from OPG in December because that's when their portfolio of funding comes available. So there'll be an update on that, on all those projects next week. The other thing that's really interesting is a program that we're working on with Eastlink TV, and the program is called What's That? So we were approached by Eastlink to do a program focused around with children. The children are anywhere between the ages of 5 and 8, and what we're doing is we're bringing items out from the collection, and the kids are going to be on camera telling us what they think these objects are. So we were really fortunate, I guess it was the last PD day, we had, I think there was in and around the neighborhood of 32 children who came to audition. And so the tapings will begin in January, but that will be hosted on the local Eastlink channel. So it was really great to see the kids in there, but it'll be even more fun when they start actually having a look at the objects. So it's another great partnership with Eastlink and gives us some great exposure as well. In regards to the collections update, lots of activities been happening with collections, and there'll be a fulsome report in January kind of recapping everything for the year. But there's been lots of work. The latest exhibit is On the Trail of the Monarch Butterfly, which is actually just coming to an end. Our ThreadWorks exhibit was this year, just in January. And the next big one will be the Juried Art Show. So actually, on Monday, we will be adjudicating the art. We're waiting for the entries to come in tomorrow and Saturday. So we're hoping that we're going to get lots of great submissions for that show as well. Yeah, so collections has also been busy with our offsite storage, and that will be reported on in the January report as well. In regards to education, as you know, we have been without an education coordinator since October. We're diligently working on that process. But I wanted to bring you up to date because we're still proceeding forward. The staff have been excellent. We're kind of piecing together various skill sets and still being able to deliver the programming. So one of the greatest things that came out was this education advisory group. So as part of our strategic plan, we had identified that we needed to establish an education advisory group moving forward. And for the first time ever, we were a host site for PA Day, a professional development day for the teachers through the Blue Water District School Board. So they came to us in September. We had approximately 30 primary and 40 junior intermediate teachers that came to the program, and we did workshops for them as well as tour them around the facility. So we'll be continuing to move forward and work with the group to expand our offerings or tweak our offerings in order to make sure that we're enhancing the programming that we're delivering from an educational perspective. And then, of course, our programming on the flip side for the very primary preschool group, we had such success with the program in the start of the year that we continued on the program in the fall, and it was another very successful program. Basically, those are the children that are 0 to 4 years of age. And there's a couple of our little museum munchkins in front of our butterfly selfie, and we were turning this all into social media campaigns as well and contesting, so that's been great. A couple of other items that are in there for the preschool groups are our holiday programming, and again, all of the programming that we're doing, we're also taking a look at how we can include the collection. So the Christmas card collection, or the Christmas card program, is taking inspiration from some of the older cards in the collection and things of that nature. And the next item on the report is again our programming. So just a recap of some of the things, programs for the fall. We've had a busy fall with programming with the Museum Mixer, Andrew Robertshaw, Whiskies of the World, very popular. Here's another picture of our Rocky Horror participants, the Remembrance Day events, which was a night in Flanders Fields, and then, of course, a recap of some of the other adult programs that are coming up. So we have a Victorian Christmas tea, and we have our Memories of Christmas, which is a family activity that we host at the museum. Visits with Santa, and because we are open over the Christmas period, we will have a variety of family fun activities from scavenger hunts to crafts and movies and things of that nature. So we're expecting and hoping for quite a few families to come in over the Christmas holiday. And the last part on the report basically speaks to more development of the strategic plan, and I'm happy to have library director with us this morning for this portion of the plan. So over the past several years, museum and library have worked on a variety of projects. What we're looking at doing starting in January was, again, how can we make the museum more accessible to residents within the county? So there have been several projects that we have looked at, including Melissa was involved with one in Lethbridge, but also the Hamilton Civic Library as well as Ottawa Public Library. So basically the program is, we're calling it a Museum Explorer Pass program. And so the individual, you would go into the library and you would take out a cataloged item, which is the museum pass. So then you would be able to get into the Bruce County Museum free of charge. So we're looking at starting this program in January, running it for a period of a year. The great thing about the program, other than the accessibility for people and getting more people into the library and into the museum, is that it really is a trackable program. So through the systems that are used at the library and the systems for tracking at the museum, we'll be able to know exactly how many times the cards were taken out, how many times they were accessed from which branches, and then also the turnover rate. So are they actually coming in and using the pass? So we have a few limitations on the pass, not a lot, because we wanted to make sure that we don't put so much limitation on the pass that people aren't using the program. But the passes will be available in each of the branches of the library. They're very easy to make. Our graphic designer does them up. We send them to the library, they barcode them with their system, and then we laminate the pass. So the next step for this project will be a presentation at the library board meeting on December 14th, and then pending that meeting, we will start with the project in January 1, and we'll roll that out for the beginning of the new year. Okay?
That's it?
And that
Isn't that something?
brings us to the end of the report, and there's in the report, you'll see the poster that we're working on as well as a sample of the pass as well. And I'd be happy to answer any
That's
questions.
fantastic, Kathy. Are there any questions about any of these reports? None at all. That is the last museum meeting for 2016. We're going to meet again January the 5th, 2017. Can I have a motion to adjourn? And seconded by David. All in favor? Thank you. We're adjourned.
Okay, thank you.